Good afternoon, my friends. We are here today at Universal Orlando because we do have maybe our biggest update yet for HHN 34. We have two major house announcements to go over, and I do have some highly detailed information regarding them. We also have a massive prop update in the scare zones around the park. And lastly, I do want to go over everything that's coming to the event this year because they have officially announced all the houses, the scare zones, even the attractions are out. We are going to do a full overview for Halloween Horror Nights. So enough talking, let's go ahead, get in there, have a great time, and dive in. Let's not waste any time and get right into this. So you see right here, we have a Scarezone prop right here. And then the next one is not that way, but this way. We have props going all the way down Minion. And we have our extended Scarezone back officially, guys. We have another one of these platforms right here. And one interesting thing about this is I think these platforms will be, well, they'll have the sculptured IPs because we're supposed to have 5 sculptured IP houses in this scare zone. And I think these are going to be like the set pieces possibly, which I think will be pretty cool. And then we do have this one right here. Now, something's going to be on top of that. I don't know if it's going to be a gargoyle or what, but this prop is pretty huge and it's nice. I like it. And I'm happy that we are finally back in this scare zone and not the short scare zones we've had in the past. One thing that you'll notice about these also is that they do have that turquoise blue color that they were talking about being the theme of the event, which is pretty cool. Now, I'm not entirely sure if those stone platforms are for these sculptured IP houses, but they did say we are going to have that in that scare zone. And I do want to talk about what else is going to be in that scare zone. It's supposed to be like some life-size stone statued gargoyles, and they're going to come to life, and they're supposed to have a huge wingspan. So we may see some stoned gargoyle stealth walkers in that scare zone, which I think would be pretty cool. And on top of that, we have some new merch to check out. So let's go check that out real quick. Look what we got here, guys. 5 Nights at Freddy's. And I was told that they sold out of the Wyatt6 shirts, which is insane. I think that's the fastest I've ever seen a shirt sell out. But we still have some 5 Nights at Freddy shirts, and I'm sure they're going to probably restock on the Wyatt6 shirts too. You know what? They actually have some smalls left, but I don't see any mediums, large, extra large. But this shirt is awesome. I love this picture, man. Let me in. That is a nice shirt. I wish it was on the front instead of the back, but nice shirt nevertheless. Quick little update over here by the HHN bar. They have changed like this cover from yellow to red. So that's pretty nice. And here we go. The Cat Lady of Crooked Lane Scare Zone. They have added so much decoration here, props here. It is everywhere, and there's so many little details, like this bike right here that is kind of ran down. So many details. And this cat, and oh wait a minute, I think this cat may glow in the dark. This looks like that glow in the dark type of milky faded green color. I think this cat will glow in the dark. Then they got my boy Frankenstein. This is awesome. I like this. So it seems like they have like this, it looks like a ball of yarn. Definitely feels like it also. That is pretty neat, especially with it being a cat scare zone. And then they do have this scarecrow right here, and it has like this milky green color just like the cats. Same thing right here, and this may glow in the dark also. And then it looks, does that say welcome? Definitely says welcome. It looks like it's crossed out. All right, I'm liking this already. There's so many little details in here. Same thing, this cat has the milky green color on it, and this will probably glow in the dark. And then we have this ghost plush toy right here. What are we naming it, guys? What are we naming this one? Then we have this house right here. Do you think this may be like similar to what the cat lady from Crooked Lane house would be? You see the witch right here? That's pretty cool. And then we have some clothes. They look like clothes from the kids. And it looks like some blood is on these clothes. The details are insane in the Scarezone, man. They are insane. And we cannot forget the best part about this Scarezone is that the pumpkins are back and they are all in the tree. They are everywhere, and I'm pretty sure these pumpkins will be lit up at night. I don't see any cords. Let me see, zoom in. There may be some cords on these. Oh, yep, there's some cords right there. I see it. So these pumpkins will be lit up at night, and that is gonna be awesome. And then we have another kid's bike right here. Seems like we got a little mass also. This bike is ran down. Looks like it's been here forever, to be honest. Okay, so one thing I did not realize is that this also has that like green, milky color on it, and it feels like that texture too. There may be a slight chance this part of this prop will kind of like glow in the dark too, which I think that'd be nice. Seems they have added some props over here too. They have this like kid clown suit, and this looks like blood also. Yeah, this definitely blood splatter on that suit. These details they're really nice. I know I keep saying that, but everything I'm looking at the moment is just highly detailed. You got a beat up shoe. Wow. They have this prop right here. Looks to be like a little bucket. And then on this one it says, enter if you dare. Seems like the closer we get to the cat lady house, it's giving like warning signs, which once again, another nod to the details that they have here. I'm starting to see more dirtier props and more bikes getting left, deserted. Like, look at this little scarecrow right here. And then you have this bike that is rusted. It looks old, dirty, muddied up. It seems like the closer we get to the cat lady's house, the more deserted things that we are going to see. And they don't have anything on this. They actually may have updated this because this was pretty clean before. Now this is like mad dirty. And they've added some of that green glow-in-the-dark paint to it also. And then we have more clothes over here with some blood on it. And then we have some bikes over there. I mean, take a look at all this. Look at all the bikes and clothes. The closer you get to the cat lady's house. Look at all the bikes and clothes that are deserted at the moment. Because you know what? They're probably all turning into her felines at the moment, which explains the deserted clothes. And I feel like this Scarezone always gets the most details. Last year in Swamp of the Dead, we had a lot of details. This one, we have a lot of details. This is why it's always one of my favorites. All right, so before we move forward and look at more props, let's go ahead and do a full overview of the entire event. Now that we got all 10 houses, all our scare zones, our shows, we have everything. Let's go ahead and start on the houses. The first house we have is El Artista A Spanish Haunting, and that is going to be our Spanish ghostly artistic house. And I think that house is going to be beautiful because they did say that they're going to have the pepper ghost effect inside the house itself. They're bringing that back, and I think that's going to be one of our most creative houses at the event. Then we have Hatchet and Chains, the Demon Bounty Hunters, and that is going to be our good old Western house, a piece from Slaughter Cinema 2, and they're supposed to have some red hot lava demons inside that house. That is going to be one heck of a house because they did say at the UK media event that they're going to have demons coming out of people's faces in that house itself. I can't wait to see the costumes on that one. Next, we have our dolls, the Let's Play Dead house, and that is going to be like a life-size doll house. We are going to be part of her dolls, and we're going to walk inside the house. Everything's going to be life-size, and I do think we may see a huge animatronic of Lila herself. I think that house is going to be very interesting. Next, we have Grave of Flesh, and that's going to be our graveyard type of house. And I think that house is actually going to have a lot of different scents to it, but I do think it's going to be our graveyard house. We're going to go to the underworld and see many different creatures or skeletons. It's going to be a pretty cool house, and I think we're going to have some very good scares in that one. Next, we have Galkn, Monsters of the North, and that will be our winter house. I am going to love this house because it is extremely hot here. Oh, did you guys hear that? It is extremely hot here in Florida, so that house is gonna be nice. It's gonna have a lot of AC. It's gonna have a bunch of creatures, some monsters inside there. I do think that's going to be a pretty cool house. Now for the big boys, the IP houses. We have already had announced Terrifer will be here, and they said that is going to be one of the most goriest houses we have ever had. Then next we are going to have a Jason universe here, and supposedly that house is going to be Insidious times 10. We're going to see a bunch of different versions of Jason, so I'm very, very excited about that. And of course we do have Fallout, and I think that house is going to be beautiful. It's going to have a lot of different sets, a lot of different scenes from the game, from the movie. I do think that's going to be a nice house. It's not going to be as scary in my opinion. I think it's just going to be something cool to look at, like Ghostbusters last year. I think it's going to be a very nice house. And now for the two new houses that were just announced, we have first the Wyatt6, and also we have Five Nights at Freddy's. Let's go ahead and start off with the Wyatt6 first, because there was a buttload of details about this house that Michael Aiello himself had put out, and I think you guys are going to love this one. The description for this one states as, dare to take on the fiendish Wyatt6, enter their eerie arena and go through a doorway into their maniacal minds. Now, there is far more details regarding to this house, because Michael Aiello himself tweeted out a bunch of things, a bunch of details of pretty much the entire house. So he stated, this haunted house is a tribute to all things Wyatt. Uncle Howdy, Abby the Witch, Huskus the Pig, Ramblin' Rabbit, Mercy the Buzzard. It's a tribute to Bray and the Fiend. You will walk through the doors and into the Lantern's light, experience the massacre of Monday Night Raw. You will walk within the Firefly Funhouse and then into the horrific nightmares of all these characters. For those that love WWE, there are Easter eggs galore. For those who haven't experienced these characters, just think of it as a gateway original house that is everything HHN is all about. And the cool thing about it is that they worked with WWE hand to hand, and he also worked with Uncle Howdy himself. So I think this house is going to be insane. I think it's going to be very scary. It's going to be very creative. It may be in the running for the best house here. I know a lot of people say they don't like wrestling, but this wrestling group in particular has a lot of backstory and lore behind them, where it's not just wrestling. You're not going to see them wrestling inside the house. No, that's not going to be it. This is about their backstory, their lore behind everything, behind the Wyatt6, Bray Wyatt. I think this house is going to be insane. We also have some huge details on the Five Nights at Freddy's house. And the description of this one states as, guests will follow in the footsteps of Mike after he agrees to accept the position as a night security guard in an abandoned themed entertainment center, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fans will come face to face with full-scale replicas of the eerie characters from the Five Nights at Freddy's film. Freddy Fazbear's Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, and Mr. Cupcake, as they stalk visitors through iconic scenes including the security room and the showroom where the chilling characters perform. The terror will start as guests navigate the corridors and learn that nothing at Freddy's is what it seems when they encounter the supernatural and become lured into the black heart of an unspeakable nightmare. So pretty much we are going to see full-scale costumes, exactly how they look in the movie is going to be here at Halloween Horror Nights, and this may be the only time you see something like that, because they are working hand to hand with Hinchin's Creature Shop, who worked on the costumes for the movie. Then we also have two newly added street entertainment, and we have the Mel's Die-In Zombies and also Club Horror. Now we don't know if the Mel's Die-In will be like a horde or a show, but what I can say from the details that just came out, I think this would possibly be like a little mini horde, and it states as, it's time for the graveyard shift as Mel's Die-In Zombies take over, eager to serve bystanders up on a platter. To me, that sounds like they are going to be moving around. It could be a mixture of a horde in the show, who knows, but I think it would be a horde. But I do think this is going to be pretty cool, and everybody has been asking for Mel's Die-In to be a part of HHN. And as far as Club Horror goes itself, this will be like a mixture of the HHN Bar and Dead Coconut Club, because we're gonna have meet and greets, but we're also gonna have an undead DJ. It's gonna be a dance party. So I think it's gonna be a mixture of both, which it'll be pretty cool. I think a lot of people are down on this one, but I'm very optimistic on how this will be, so we will see. And lastly, we have our shows. We have the Lagoon show coming back. It's been, I think, like 4 years, and it's called Phonic, A Ghoulish Journey. And then we will have Nightmare Fuel back again, and that will be Nightmare Fuel, Circus of Decay. And now we finally know what attractions will be open for HHN. We have Mummy, Green Gods, Men in Black, and also Transformer will all be open for HHN this year. That was a mouthful of information, but now you guys have your all-in-one update for Halloween Horror Nights. You know everything that's coming here. How are you feeling about the event itself? I'm very excited about this year. It kind of feels like an anniversary year, to be honest. So I'm very excited about it, but let's go ahead and get back to some props. I almost completely forgot about the Scarezones. We're going to have the Orgins of Horror, which would be our entry scare zone, and that's the scare zone is going to go all the way up into Minions Land, and it's supposed to be based off the overall theme of the event: gargoyles, ravens, just a bunch of gothic conservatory vibes. And then we also have the Masquerade Dance With Death scare zone, and that is going to be your vampire scare zone under some disguised mask, and it's going to be an epic scare zone. I'm very excited about that one. Next, we have the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane, and that's pretty much based upon trick-or-treaters going down that lane, which will be in the Central Park area, and she turns the trick-or-treaters into her felines. And at the end of that scare zone, you'll probably see the Cat Lady's house, and I think that's going to be a very cool and highly detailed scare zone. And lastly, we have Mutations Toxic 20s, and that one is based upon a radioactive truck crash into a mobster's getaway, and once it crashes into it, it sends the city into a toxic radioactive pandemonium. And I think that'll be a very fun scare zone. It's gonna have probably a bunch of mutated people. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. As you'll see right here, they have barricaded the entire walkway up until the Fear Factor stage, which means the Fuel girls are here and rehearsing. So we should start seeing a lot of lighting and music very soon. And speaking of lighting, I actually got this video right here that shows them testing out the LED lights, and you can see the Grim Reapers very well. I thought that was pretty cool to catch. Check out the light testing they have going on for Nightmare Fuel. That is insane. Wow. They actually just had some more light testing, and I was able to catch them lighting up the entire thing. That was awesome. First light testing all year. That was awesome. Okay, am I tripping, or is this testing for the Lagoon show? Because these are those turquoise colors. Maybe they're getting ready for Sensational. I could be wrong, but I feel like they didn't do this before 30 minutes before Sensational. So we will have to see. I think that is testing for the Lagoon show for HHN, because the HHN team is right here over by where all this testing is going on. So this could be testing for the Phonic or the Phonic Ghoulish Journey show. Well guys, that will be it for today's video. How do you feel about the event as a whole? Do you think it's overhyped? Do you think that it's going to do well this year? I think this will be one of our best years in a while. I'm very excited about it. But if you guys did enjoy this video, go ahead, smash that like button, share, turn notifications on, and most importantly, subscribe. And you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.